When is a police dog not a police dog? When it's an intervention canine. It's my pleasure to introduce Paula Laughlin, Executive Director of Victim Services Kingston, and Haven, who is an intervention canine. So this is not the kind of dog that goes sniffing out suspects in fields and things like that.
No, not at all. Not at all.
What is canine's job? What is Haven's job?
So Haven's job is to provide emotional support to individuals who are impacted by any kind of crime or tragic circumstance. So whether they're visiting the Kingston Police Headquarters, where our main offices are located, she can sit with individuals, just provide some comfort. She also likes to sit on people's laps and provide that pressure comfort as well. And just essentially helps us build rapport and help put some smiles on some faces when it's difficult to do so.
So what would be the circumstances? It could be any time of the day or night. You get a call. She lives with you.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. So you get a call, and what might the circumstances be that they'd say, you know, bring Haven along?
Sure. So Haven can become involved in any kind of a circumstance. So whether it's, you know, a child, an adult of any kind, or a senior who's in need of some additional comfort, she can be called out. So it might be something like a sudden death that we've had in the community, a disaster or fire, or it could be an individual impacted by intimate partner violence or any kind of a crime that has occurred.
Okay, so you think someone's broken into your house and the police have arrived and you're really rattled. Mm-hmm. Then this
Absolutely.
is when. And so she comes in, and what do you do?
So usually we ensure that people are comfortable with dogs to start.
Right.
Because not everybody is a dog person as much as we are. So we make sure that her presence is something that is appreciated. And then we would invite an individual to pet her and get to know her. And then provide comfort however they would like. So if they're seated on a couch or anything, then we can invite her up on the couch with people. Or she can sit at their feet and just be there for them.
And you find that it really does help.
Yes, absolutely.
Does it?
Having Haven's presence, whether it be on scene or even just in the police headquarters and in our offices, you can really feel the mood shift within the environment, especially when people are reluctant and shy to speak up. She loves her treats.
Right.
But it really helps us start a conversation with people who don't know where to start maybe. We can make some jokes, show them some tricks with Haven, and they can pet her and be comforted. And it really helps kind of kickstart those conversations that become a little bit more difficult. So
maybe people talk to the dog and it starts coming out, but they're talking to the dog, not to the officer.
Yes, absolutely. So it's really hard to talk to strangers, but a lot of people find it very easy to talk to dogs. So this is where people can kind of share some of their difficult stories with Haven, and she's a really great non-judgmental listener. And it's a lot easier than talking to someone in uniform or an emergency service personnel of some kind, or even our offices where our staff are strangers and such. They can start by talking to Haven and receiving that comfort.
And you might think that anybody who likes dogs isn't all bad, even if they're wearing a uniform. And,
That's right.
They could be nice people, but they're still in a uniform, and that's a little intimidating.
It is intimidating, absolutely. And people come from all different backgrounds and experiences. Step up. Step up. There, sit. Good girl. Oh. All backgrounds and experiences. So the comfort level with emergency services and training can vary from person to person. So
she's just about 2 years old.
She is. Yes.
And is it a particular breed that you always use, or is this just happen to be? How do you find these dogs when you know that they are the ones that would be good at this job?
Mm-hmm. So we actually went through Ability Dogs Canada, and they are known to use labs, yellow labs and chocolates and quite often. She happens to be an English lab, so she's a little smaller in stature, which was a good fit for our organization. So when we applied to receive a service dog through Ability Dogs Canada, they had her in mind in particular because of her friendly, joyful nature, but also she's small, which is much less intimidating for people to come and see a dog, especially little children and things. So she's a little more compact, and she likes to smile a lot. So
She does, actually. She does look like she's smiling. What are the, what would be the one thing that you've seen that you still sticks in your mind and say, wow, we are so lucky we had the dog on that case? What is there any that really come to mind?
Haven did have a unique opportunity. While she's still in training to this day, she had an early experience in doing some court support for a very tragic circumstance. And without her support and being present with that victim giving their testimony, the victim did, say that she wouldn't have been able to do that without the comfort of the dog, in knowing that she had that kind of unconditional, non-judgmental comfort with her. So it was very important to her, and it really helped get through that process.
And the case could have just fallen apart had she not been able to testify.
That's right. So in court, the victim testimony is a very important piece of that case. So, here, good girl. So having her here and helping that process along was a very essential component.
So she lives with you. What is the training like with her? It's not the same as it is with the police dog. Is it different or not really?
Yeah, it's quite different. So she has to participate in regular training with Ability Dogs Canada. I always like to say usually it's the handler that gets the majority of the training, because consistency and exposure and opportunity is very essential for Haven's training. So a lot of that comes with having me trained to handle her more so than her receiving training. So the training is quite natural in a lot of ways. Being present in the Kingston Police Headquarters in our main offices, being able to have experiences like this where she gets to smell new things and meet new people is important. And learning some of those commands. And over time, as she gets a little bit older and has more experiences, she will mature and settle down a little bit more. She still has some puppy left in her here, and we're grateful for that because that also brings a lot of joy, her spirits. So.
Yeah, sometimes just playing with a dog is kind of takes you out of your whatever situation you're in as well.
Yes, absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
So this is an important service. It's funded by the city, is it?
No, so Victim Services is funded by the Ministry of Children, Community and Social Services, so our provincial government. We've been around for over 30 years now.
Really? I had no idea.
Yeah, and we provide emotional support, practical assistance, and referrals to other community services and such for individuals who are impacted by any kind of crime, tragic circumstance, or disaster.
So 30 years, this is how many dogs have you had now?
So she's our second. So originally we did have another canine intervention dog whose name was Shanka. So she was with us, but then Shanka's position changed a little bit when COVID occurred, and her handler had moved away. So unfortunately Shanka had left. She has since passed away, unfortunately. And so it's the same primary trainer who has brought us Haven here. So.
And she must be fun to have around the station, the police station too, because they deal with some pretty grim stuff, and it must be fun just to have a dog just to come in and, again, non-judgmental, and I know you're having a rough day, but yeah, it's fun.
Our officers here in Kingston, they see and hear a lot of really emotionally impacting things.
Yeah.
So it's not uncommon for Haven to be providing support to officers as well, and we often hear what a change she's made in their day too. So it's nice to have a little moment of fun and joy for the officers when they're having a tough time as well.
Right,
so.
right. So do you need volunteers or donations, or are you pretty much set? Is this anything we can do for you?
Yeah, so we are a not-for-profit charitable organization. And as a not-for-profit, of course, donations are always appreciated to help us put in place some of those essential programs in place for our communities. We do experience some gaps in services and things like that for people in their times of need. So it's nice to have the incoming donations to help supplement and so that we can provide those essential services.
And they can go to your website and find out how to do that.
Yes, absolutely.
This has been such a pleasure meeting both of you. Thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you for having us.